And welcome back. It's show number 153 for the podcast known internationally as Smoking and Toasting. We're all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. We're brought to you by B&B Butchers and Restaurant, 1814 Washington Ave in Houston, and in the shops at Clear Fork in Fort Worth. Bacon, 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 bacon. That's
worldwide.
We've come up with that as the slogan, by the way, for your restaurant.
Bacon, bacon, bacon.
Bacon, bacon, bacon. Yeah. So sometimes we just identify you and say, bacon, bacon, bacon. And no one has tried to correct us.
Hey, Cruz, watch this.
Bacon.
Okay. Wow. Even when we're on location, ladies and gentlemen, we may not have as many cameras, but the sound effects have their same high-tech, low-tech authenticity. Yes, which I love. Ian has opened up, and I think we're all very thirsty. Ian has opened up the Abita Strawberry Lager, which is the first beer that we're going to be sampling here on the show. Now, I will say, strawberry beers kind of run the gamut for me. They're either very, very good
or very bad.
Very, very not so much.
I find that to be the case with most of the fruit-driven beers, though.
Yes.
Like the Sam Adams, for example. I don't know if you've had the cherry wheat. Mm-hmm. Really, really cool if you're barbecuing.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a very specific application.
Yeah. Right.
And the first time I ever had a fruit beer that I didn't hate was actually a bit of the Purple Haze with the
Purple Haze, okay.
the raspberry
right, and that's
kick to it.
That's a very intense sort of a beer, too.
Absolutely.
It really is. So,
but you know what I mean? Great food beer.
Yes.
So I tend to drink beer mostly when I'm eating.
Right. It just depends how I drink beer mostly when I'm doing dishes, but that's a complete other other thing.
The biggest problem I find with fruit beer is a lot of people tend to make it super sweet.
Right.
Add
and
sweetness
beer is
to
just
it.
not
It doesn't
meant to
need
be
to be that sweet.
Right.
Beer can be inherently sweet, like barley wines and things like that, but it's a totally different kind of sweet. Yeah, totally different kind of sweet.
Absolutely.
So the bottom line is it's hard, I think, to balance. Let's make a beer that has the essence of this. Now, strawberry, if it's done right, I think can be done really well because strawberry is not inherently that sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually
there's a tartness.
It's
to
actually very
acidity.
tart. So
there's a reason that so many of the fruit-oriented beers or beers that have fruit aromas to them have a tendency to start in the citrus area. You've got your lemons, you've got your your orange, your blood orange, your grapefruit, and so on.
This is kind of delightful, actually.
Kind of delightful.
Kind of delightful.
So you're familiar with this already,
absolutely.
Aren't you?
Yes.
So I want to say hi to Fred over at Maduro's. He's just logged on.
What's up, Fred?
Howdy, Fred.
So this. I like these sparkling waters with flavor, not sweetness with flavor. This is like a strawberry version of that for beer. This has the strawberry effervescence to it and the flavor, especially on the retro hail, but it's very beer.
I think they nailed this one.
This
I
is
think they nailed
fantastic.
this
Well,
one.
I think one of the keys to this one is it's really, really bright from a carbonation standpoint.
Yes.
So you get that really, really bright sort of mouthfeel to it.
And that doesn't always work, but in this case it does.
And it's awesome. I mean, it tastes like summer. Like,
wow.
It's
and that's one of the reasons I wanted to do it is since we're we're trending towards September here. So
it's not perfumey either. It's very
good
much,
way to say it. Yes,
it's very much like
because that was always the thing that turned me
scent.
off in the earlier days of fruit beers. Before all the citrusy IPAs started
even before you get it to your nose, it's like, whoa, what's happening?
Yeah, there's so much of that, sort of sickly sweet, sort of fruit vibe. But this is not that way at all.
And kudos definitely to Sam Adams, but I think that's what cherry wheat suffered from. Cherry wheat was too sweet. I'm not a big fan of it, and I like a lot of Sam Adams beer. But
the problem with the cherry wheat was it was if I'm not mistaken, it was a beer that was a seasonal that they took permanent, like 4 weeks. It used to be like a double cherry Bock or like a double cherry lager that you could only get like for like a month or two out of the year. Mm-hmm. And then I remember being really excited when I saw the cherry wheat, and it's just you can drink like if you're out at the grill and it's really hot, I can get one down. They're nice, but I think by the time you get to that second beer, it's just
this I don't think
drink 6 of these.
I don't think this suffers from any of that. This is a delicious beer with some raspberry flavor to it.
Well, right.
This is is this a seasonal juicy ripe Louisiana strawberries harvested at the peak of the season? Give this crisp lager its strawberry flavor and aroma. Abita strawberries made with Pilsner and wheat malts, traditional hops, the finest Louisiana grown strawberries, resulting in a light gold lager with subtle haze. Wow. This they nailed it. They did great. 4.2%, very sessionable. It looks the wrapper looks sweeter than the beer is. This is
it gives you like a sense that it would be more like a soda.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit of that, but it almost a classic soda kind of look on it.
I will say that this beer also does something really interesting that not a lot of you know that feeling that you get when you've had a beer that you really like and you take that last swallow and you go, yeah, I would really love another one. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this beer has that, but it also has a different sort of I really want another one, which is the kind that you get when you have a nacho cheese Dorito. You chew it and you go, I really want another one. It's a different
it's got
snackability. It's a different yeah. You want it. You want another one for a different reason. There's wanting another beer because another beer sounds great and that was really good.
Indeed.
And then there's that flavor driven.
Yeah.
I want to taste that flavor again. And so this beer has both of those things, which could make it extremely dangerous.
After all that, if you do not have another one of these Abitas in that bag, we're going to have a problem. I know we have other beers to try, but
yes. Well,
I feel like you're messing with my emotions.
2 words for you here, my friend. Advanced oak.
Advanced oak.
Yeah,
yes.
That's the Belgian quint that we'll be trying later on.
I'm looking forward to that.
We will be talking rum. Appleton Estate Rare Blend, 12-year Jamaican rum.
Excellent.
We'll be trying that on the show. And I know we have some other rum things to talk about,
certainly.
The two of us. But I thought maybe this would be a good time for us to just go ahead and get into this best whiskey in the world. The award has been given out. It is
that's a big throwdown.
Now, do they have like the top 5, or they're just boom? This is the one.
I believe that they did, but in the article that I'm looking at here, this is just talking about the winner.
Okay,
and it is. I'm just trying to get to the easiest part of this to read. It is significant because. For the first year, I believe it's okay. I wanted to make sure I knew exactly what we're talking about. This is the World Whiskey Trophy winner at the International Wine and Spirit Competition.
Okay, so San Francisco.
So
it's the Olympics
legit.
of spirits.
Right, it's the Olympics of spirits. It's just totally legit. So the winner of best whiskey in the world, Redbreast 12-year-old single pot still Irish whiskey. It scored a remarkable 98 points to take home the highest honor in the competition. And
well, at least those guys at Jameson got one thing right.
Yeah. Irish whiskey apparently did really, really well in general.
Absolutely.
This year.
Irish whiskey has had kind of a resurgence.
But this is, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the first time an Irish whiskey has been named best whiskey in the world
to my knowledge,
in this competition.
Quite possibly.
So
the only thing I can think of, maybe it's somewhere down the line, Middleton possibly was in there.
Maybe, yeah.
But it's definitely the first of note, and the first, I would say, accessible. People know this whiskey.
Middleton Very Rare Barry Crockett Legacy and Jameson Cooper's Crows were also both honored.
Excellent.
I haven't tried that one.
Yeah.
The Cooper's Crows is good.
I haven't tried that.
So talk to me about it. Have you
it's
had...
actually the notch in the barrel head is what the Crows is, where the barrel head seals the barrel. So all the staves are like this, and then there's the little
notch
divot,
on the top, right?
And they hit the barrel head, and that little groove is the Crows. The Crows.
See, you learned something
Cooper
new on
knowledge,
this show.
you never know.
You learned something new on this show. It's good. It's good.
Shout out to Balvenie for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for the trip to the cooperage.
So Redbreast, 12-year-old single pot still. Have you had this?
Absolutely.
And what do you think of what do you think of it being the winner?
I think it's cool. I definitely think that I'm a huge fan of this style of whiskey winning because I love the idea of the single pot still, where you've got these guys making whiskey the old way in small amounts and cutting the heads and tails and redistilling those, and it's a beautiful thing. As far as my own personal preference, I think I'm it's a little on the smooth side. Mm-hmm. I tend to.
So you're looking for a little more bite.
I like Sting. I don't think there's anybody that's ever watched me on the show would know I've got the mad palate. But I think that style winning is very important, and I think it's a cool feather in the cap for them, man.
So guys,
we definitely sell a fair amount of it. So.
I feel like there's a question coming up.
Yeah, let's put the question to you, and let me just, rather than just saying what do you think is the best whiskey in the world, let me frame it slightly differently. Okay, you've had bad news and good news. The bad news is you're going to be shipwrecked on an island for a little while. Just you, nobody else there. The good news is there's a supply of food and water, and also shipwrecked Right next to you is a supply boat carrying cases and cases of whiskey. Thing is, if you got to pick that whiskey, in other words, this is your desert island whiskey. One whiskey for you on the island to sustain you as much as you want. But money's no object because it's shipwrecked there. So it's not like you have to worry about what you paid for it, right? The best whiskey in your world that you would want to be your island mate.
Okay, wait. I have a caveat question. Is this island an island that receives allocations?
Oh, yes. Allocations are available on the island.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure.
In fact, the boat could have been headed for an allocation location.
Yeah, because I'm like, because I was about, you say Blanton's, and you're like, and you can't even get it there.
Well, right.
You're just like an amazing double whammy.
That would have been a good joke, but no, it's
all right.
No, if it's Blanton's, you can get it there, and you got a ship full of it.
Okay, well, it's not Blanton's for me, so.
Okay.
Although that's great whiskey.
It is great whiskey.
Okay, so that's a tough one.
Yeah, it is. It's like naming your favorite child, or your favorite, niece or nephew. Or
I have 3 to 4 that pop up in my head immediately, and it'd be hard to choose between them. So, just to run down my 4, that would be the cask strength Whitmires.
Okay.
That's so chocolatey.
That is a great bottle, and it's local. That's fantastic.
And that one would be tough to beat, except for the fact that there's the Glenfiddich 14.
Phenomenal release.
So good.
Bourbon barrel the whole time.
So good, so good. And then there's the Signet. Mm-hmm. And then there's
the Magic Glenmorangie Black Barley.
Yeah, that one's so good.
It is. I have about 3 ounces of it left sitting in my house, and I'm just trying not to drink.
Right, you got to covet the last little bit of it. Mm-hmm. Let's just stick with those 3.
That's a great desert island, though.
That's
and
stylistically.
So you're already cheating by going with 3.
Right? No, I'm not going with 3.
So you're going to narrow it down.
I'm whittling it down, and I would have to say, out of all those, and money's no object. That's.
Yeah, so it's not about the dollars, but it does. But that doesn't necessarily mean you want the most expensive whiskey you can get.
No,
it's true.
Out of all those, I think,
and oftentimes the most expensive is not necessarily the best.
If I was going for a daily flavor profile that I think I would enjoy, that would go with most foods that I would have to kill and cook over a campfire.
Yeah, so it might need to go with squirrel and duck.
Right. And
what kind of island is this? I was thinking seafood.
Seafood too. Yeah, I'm
and crab and everything else.
You could rig a net, and
Well, yeah, but you kill all the duck.
I think right now, to my palate, I'd probably go with the Whitmires, the cask strength, because I just love that big bold chocolate.
Big chocolate.
I love the huge. The bite from it, it's huge. It's like 120 proof.
Yeah, no, it's a big whiskey.
Crazy,
it's a big whiskey. It's good stuff, man.
So I think I'd have to go with that right now, but that Glenfiddich is right behind it. That 14 just makes me so happy.
It's true.
So, all right.
It's all you.
This is how you stump an expert,
right?
You paint him into a corner.
Well, so for me, I'll probably narrow it shorter because I could go on a much crazier, longer list. But I would probably say if I was just to throw my American whiskey into the category, it would probably be Booker's.
That's a good one.
Nice.
It's everything about it. It's small. It's history. It's high proof. It's sharp and angry. And again, it goes great with campfire smoke. And then single malt wise, I would probably say, honestly, probably the Balvenie 15 single barrel. All 15 years in the sherry, so it's got that really aggressive, dark color, lots of chocolate and fig, and it's a little bit more kick to it than a typical. In fact, I'm just going to call it. I'm going to say that's the one.
That's the one?
It's got that kind of hard oak astringency to it at the end.
That's the one, because it's going to hit all my flavor profiles that I like from sort of the angry bourbons. So yeah, I would say I'll narrow it to the one. I'll say the Balvenie 15 single barrel. That's my desert island whiskey.
Now I will say I've not had as much experience with whiskeys as either of you guys, so I only know what I've tried and what I've liked and enjoyed. But I will say that I have about one more pour of a bottle of little book
I
at
have
home.
about that much left, too, and it's so good.
That is so good that it almost has to make the discussion.
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah. Not to be a copycat, but the Signet. Wow.
Yeah, sure.
That's just fantastic. And then it was a while back, but it was upstairs at B&B that I was honored to be able to try the Balvenie 30.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty amazing.
And, if it's one of those money is no object things, that could certainly enter the conversation because
Jonathan Wingo would be proud of you for saying that.
Yeah.
He's been saying that's one of his Desert Island whiskeys for years.
Really? So I don't know. I think honestly, I would probably though pare it down to the Signet.
No, that is a great.
That is so good.
Choice.
Yeah. It's funny because
and just the process of how they make the Signet and shutting down the whole distillery and then shutting it down again, and it's great.
Yeah, it's just one of those. You just feel so almost like transported when you're tasting it.
Absolutely.
It's not just this is a great tasting whiskey. It's an experience.
Yeah, you're somewhere else with it.
Right,
It's
and
beautiful.
that's what I love so much.
I feel
about
like that one's made it into the struggle on all of our choices there. We might have to have Dan come in and bring some.
I think that wouldn't be a terrible idea.
We could probably figure that out.
I think that wouldn't be a terrible
We
idea.
can figure that out.
All right. We're also, I will tell you this, we don't have a confirmation yet, but we will be working to get Dan to be in attendance at the next Whiskey Sniff.
If he's in town, I think with the enough notice, which we have, I think we'll be able to have Dan in attendance. We'll have a lot of great.
So coming up in our next segment, we will announce the Whiskey Sniff, give you the date. You can start holding it on your calendar, and we'll tell you how to be among the first to grab your tickets because they went fast enough last year, and then the word spread. Yep. So I have a feeling this year it's going to go way faster even than last year did. So you're going to want to be early is what I'm saying in terms of getting your tickets for the Sniff.
And the portfolio is much better this year.
Yeah,
not that it was bad last year.
It was great last year.
It's just bigger.
It's just
this
expanded,
year.
You're going to want to be there longer this year is what I'm saying because in order to try everything.
And,
Plus,
if you weren't there last year, there were a few other things other than just whiskey.
Yes.
Certainly.
Yes,
Certainly.
and that was that will be the case again
to be
this year.
well-rounded.
In my with my penchant for all things weird, there will always be a little oddball table.
All right, so I tell you what we'll do. We'll jump into that news. We'll jump into another beer. This time it'll be the Juice Bomb Unit IPA.
Juice Bomb Unit.
Juice Bomb Unit. I bet you've still got T-shirts and stuff with that on it from when you were in school.
Oh yeah. No, it's like a yearbook full of comments.
Yeah. Hey JBU.
Yeah, most people just call me Juice Bomb for short, or Units.
So we'll get into that, and I think I definitely brought us this Appleton Estate rare rum to try, but we've also got. I also see some spirit bottles hiding over there beside you, Jeremiah.
Yeah, we got a couple cool things down here. We might check out.
Brought a little something.
We'll jump into this. It's Smoking and Toasting. Thank you guys so much for checking out the show. We'll be right back.